Hey, what's up, you guys? It's East with Journey to Programming. What is the day-to-day life like for a software engineer in terms of schedule? Do they all come in at 9 a.m. and leave at 5? Do you work at 9 to 6? Do you work at 10 to 6? What's it like for everybody? Well, I can tell you guys from my experience, I've been a software engineer for companies like Lockheed Martin. I've been a software engineer, or I guess a R&D developer at a university. I've also taught as a adjunct faculty teacher at a university, and then I've also been working at a kind of top FANG company for the last kind of year almost. So what are the schedules like, and what are the differences that I've experienced? Working in DoD at Lockheed, we had a pretty, I'm going to call it strict schedule, where they really wanted us to be in there basically during normal business hours, 9 to 5, 9 to 6. They basically said it was flexible, but I can tell you firsthand it was not flexible enough for me, because I got reprimanded on multiple occasions for coming in a little later and later each and every day. So I started off, I'd show up around 8:30 or 9, and then I slowly began pushing those boundaries to 9:30, maybe 10, 10:30, and before you know it, I began getting in trouble for that, and I got basically told to always be in before 9. And that's an example. Now, that's possibly changed since I worked in that industry, but I don't know that for sure. Next, when I worked for that university, they also claimed to be a little more flexible, and they were. My manager was very flexible, very accommodating. I really enjoyed working with you, if you happen to watch this. And I definitely got asked to try coming in a little bit earlier. So I began kind of showing up the same thing like I did at the DoD company, around 9, began coming in before 10, and that was really the flexibility I had by about 10. And the nice thing about that job is they didn't care when I left. And I'll say the DoD company for Lockheed, they did care that I was staying the full day. And I can definitely say that they checked that. We logged our time and our hours daily, and if you didn't, you got in trouble. So that is definitely something which they cared more about. At the university, they were a lot more flexible with when you left. If I got my work done and I left early, it was all good. Or if I needed to leave early and finish up work later from home, it was all good. I didn't mind that. That was great. After that, I worked at another company out on the East Coast. Very flexible with their time, at least with me. I think some of the other people at the company were not getting as much flexibility, mainly because they were not necessarily putting in as much time. I was putting in way too much. So I'm not saying that they should put on more. They should have put in more. I'm actually thinking they should have been fine. Nobody should have cared, because I'm totally not one for strict schedules. They were kind of, I'm going to end that one there. They were not annoying with me, but I put in more than 40 hours a week, every week for over a year plus with them. So they just didn't complain when I came in and when I left, because I gave them so much of my damn time. Excuse my language. But I'll definitely say at the FANG company I'm at right now, they are extremely flexible. So some of those top tech companies, as long as you're getting to your meetings, if you have an early morning meeting, then you have to get to that. But that's usually not every day. So getting in there at whatever hour you want is totally cool most of the time. And getting out if you need to early, cool. As long as you're getting your work done, it's pretty flexible. So I hope that kind of gives you an example of what the schedules generally are like, at least through my experience. I've heard it similar for a lot of my friends and peers that are in the industry at other tech companies. And that I know those that are at more serious companies like DoD firms, they do have stricter hours. Or at car companies, they generally have stricter hours. They usually have like an 8 to 4 or a 9 to 5 type shift, and they have lunch breaks that they actually have to take, etc. We don't have that. I haven't had that ever in my jobs. Even when I worked for DoD, I had the flexibility to take my breaks and kind of relax, take a longer than a half hour, hour-long break if I wanted to, as long as I got my work done by the end of the day. They were pretty cool. Only thing that I think was too strict from my experiences was starting time. I'm not a morning person. If you want me to come in by 8 or 9 and you want me to do that every day, there's a very high likelihood that I'm not going to be effective until like 11. So hopefully that helped you guys. If you guys aren't following us yet, please do subscribe down below somewhere in here. And have a good one, you guys.